Right, I just thought I'd do. I'm about to edit a photo now. This is Owen that I need on a white background. It was a total flop. I tried to do it quickly in the house with a flashlight. You can see in his eyes there that I'd got a flashlight on him and a flash behind, but it's useless for what I need. I need a pure white background. Now, lots of people ask me, how do you do this masking? And so I thought while I'm doing this, I would just record it as I go. So I haven't particularly thought this through. This is just what I do, and if it works, good. If not, I shall just delete it. Right, so here's my photo in Photoshop. I'm going to drag this background first of all and make another copy. I like to just keep one behind just as a backup. And I'm going to create another layer. Now, there's different ways of doing this. Firstly, hang on a minute, I'm just going to put a paint bucket over here, and I've got white selected. My new layer is going to totally fill that in white. I'm just going to make that semi-transparent. I've changed the opacity up there to 70 so that I can see where Owen is underneath this. And what I want to do, this is the button over here that is... okay, layer mask, it's not popping up. So I've now over here made this into a layer mask. Now what you need to be careful of, if you're jumping back and forth between these, that you don't click on this one, but you stick on the mask. And quite simply, all we're going to do is use a paintbrush, and it's already changed to black and white on here. They're the colors we need. So we're going to stay with black, paintbrush, and to start with, let's go big on this. Now I'm doing this with a shortcut key, or you can right click, change that diameter. Hardness, we'll keep it fairly hard actually for this. Right, so what you see is as I'm clicking this, so this is with my black paintbrush selected, and I've made sure that I've stayed up here on the mask. Whatever I paint over is bringing through the picture behind it. Now I'm not bothered that I'm going well over at this point. I started saying earlier that this is how I do it. It's not to say this is the best way. I know there are ways of using other tools. Personally, I just like this. Right, so I've brought Owen through there. I haven't even touched him yet, actually. I need to do some editing with him, but let's get this background done first. Okay, so he's come through. You can see if I shut these off, that's what's been chopped out. And I can put that back up now to 100%. So we've got a nice pure white background. Now I'm going to zoom in. So I click Z and I click on that, and that's zoom me in. I need to make my tool smaller. And it's just a case really of, so still on black here. Shortcut key is to press X, and you will see if you look over here, when I press X it changes the paint to white. And now I paint white and it does the opposite. So if I go back over Owen, it's putting my mask back on. Okay, so black takes it off, white puts it in. Dead easy. And it's then just a thing of patience to go round. I tend to work closer in layers really. I'm scrolling my wheel down. Now another slight shortcut here as well is if I do shift, it will go from the last one to the next one. Sometimes that can be a bit tatty. If it is, you can always do Control Z and go back, so I wouldn't panic too much. But yeah, so now what I can do sometimes, it's not going to work in this one because of the colours. What we can do sometimes is to select that colour. If that was very different to the colour of Owen's clothes, I could actually improve that colour by doing replace colour. Quite often we'll do that. but it's grey and Owen's in grey. So I'm going to end up chopping him out. Now, as you saw there, I did nick him slightly, but I don't think... Actually, no, not good enough. Let's go backwards. The other thing is here is I can now soften this down. It's a fine line. That's too soft. Looks blurry on the edge. Let's have it go down here. Now this wants to be a sharper edge. And will be a lot easier. Wouldn't do too long a stretch by doing this shift. And if I do it back up there, it will knock all that out in one go. As it was dead straight on the other side, it won't look wrong to do it dead straight this side. Okay, I'm going to zoom in more. Reduce the size of this tool. So sorry if you thought this was going to be some magic trick that would make this really easy. As I say, I know there are tools you can use with the select tool and things that will do that. You go over this like with a highlighter pen and it selects everything in between. I've just found I've used these tools and I've messed about with them, and I always come back to this as a pretty foolproof way to go. Right, now this is probably going to get a bit boring. Although I guess if you see it like this, you'll know I'm not doing anything that you're not seeing. You can kind of jig it forwards with a fast forward in YouTube anyway, can't you, if you want to. So as you see, I use that shift tool a lot, just in little blocks like this. That's because I got it the wrong way around. Are you still with me? Well done, all the hardcore guys. Feel free to put any comments below the post. Hopefully this has helped some of you out. Bigger brush. We'll knock all of this. So I don't know what that is there, but I don't particularly want it, so there it goes. Into the corner, I can finish that off in a second. Right, while I'm here, because I shall forget it later, let's just tuck right in that corner there. And the same down here. Not using a pen out of interest. This is all done with a mouse. Ironically, I do have one in the cupboard here that I've only used a few times and have found it not over easy to get on with. Right, hair. Right, I'll show you my trick for hair in a minute. Just to keep you in suspense a bit. I want to chop your ear off, Owen. Let me see, I'm getting a bit lazier as I come around this side now. I've kept it a bigger brush. There is no right or wrong way of doing this stuff. I think, Andy, you were asking me, weren't you, about doing layer masks? I'm hoping this will be helpful. That is the kind of thing you were thinking. Now, I mean, I'm doing this here. For me, I'm trying to get this background. It might be that you're trying to, I mean, it doesn't get done so much these days, but you know, people used to be doing a black and white and leave the flowers in colour or something like that. Well, that's exactly the same technique that you'd do for that. Right, let's press X. Let's get this thumb back in because we've lost it. There you go. That's better than plastic surgery, isn't it? X again and zoom. A little bit big to get that corner. I think the lesson here is get your white background sorted. Although I have to say, I rarely nail it with the white background without some element of touching it. When you bring it in like this and you get this critical, it's very hard to get that white background consistent. So even on a good day, I'd still do some element of editing like this. Right, what have we got? Arm coming around here. We're in the shadows around this side. Almost there, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Shame on you if you skip the middle part. This is what I do with virtual tours as well when I'm we have problems sometimes with kids moving around within a tour if I'm in a school or somewhere, especially a primary school, and I have to lay one of my images over the other and edit the child out like this. Or if I've got any joints, I don't have too many these days. I try to nail it at the stitching stage. Owen's hand's got a bit messy there. I think if I either increase the size of that or soften it. Alright, how are we doing? We can see that's just different softness levels on there. What was okay before is now not sharp enough for me. There's a bit over there I can see. Let's come out. Alright, how are we doing? So he's there apart from his head. Now I said I'd show you a little trick here. So it's just this bit here. Now I'm going to go back to this layer, which is my background. And let's show you this trick that I was saying about earlier about the colour. In fact, I can lose... No, we'll keep it. I'm zooming in. Right, make sure you're on this layer below here. Did you see what I did there? We've cropped it, we've selected an area. Actually, that's not going to be right. Let's Control D to get rid of that. I'm going to crop again. What I don't want to do is get any t-shirt in here. I just want that bit that we're editing. And what I'm going to do is go Image, Adjustments, Replace Color. Okay, so this is looking at the picture behind, not the one with the white mask on. And I touch on this and it's picking up this grey-white. And what I can do is lighten that up. So you keep your eye on here. As I lighten up, I'll bring this tool over. You can see we're white. Now, it shouldn't be picking Owen up. What this fuzziness here is kind of how sensitive it is. So if I leave it, you know, if I were doing his hair and trying to change the colour, there's quite a lot of different shades of brown in there, and you'd want to push this fuzziness up. But it's not going to select. So if I push it right up, it's saying, well, actually his skin isn't too far from the grey. So now as you see down here, the white, it's bringing this in. If I push that right over so I can't see anything of Owen's face, all that it's changing is affecting his eyes slightly, but is the white that was there. So if I click preview, see what it was before, and over this side as well. Preview back, it's all gone white, and the hair has stayed in the same. Okay, click OK. Control D is deselect. And let's zoom in out. And that's what I wanted. So now I've got, so I didn't need that layer as a background, I can delete that. I've now got these two layers, and what I should really do is go up here and say flatten image, and he's sorted. Okay, I hope you found that interesting and helpful. Please let me know. Thank you very much.